What is going on, everyone? Badger here. Should have liked and sub, and let's get into this. The irony that we are the ones constantly accused of being fascist or bigoted or racist, whatever, all the isonisms, all the fun things. And then when you see the way these people, the so-called tolerant DEI pushers, how they talk and act, they're actually the fascists, the straight up fascists with struggle sessions and canceling. It's all them. It's all them. And of course, they follow that Sun Tzu, accuse your enemy of what you yourself are guilty of, the neo Marxism. But here we have, got to call them out because these people, remember, there will always be a Sweet Baby Inc. 2 or 3 or a weird ghost or some weird shell company name. The names you need to remember. That is what you need to remember is the names of these people so that the next time they come around and whatever, or hopefully there is no next time, but when there is, we remember, aha, Kim Belair, ahaha, Chris Kindred, ahaha, Richie DeWitt. And here we have game developer consultant Richie DeWitt promises to destroy the careers of video game company employees if they call out DEI policies. Richie DeWitt, the founder of Bare Knuckle, which is described as an inclusive business development consultancy for experienced and up and coming game developers, promised to destroy the careers of anyone in the video game industry that calls out DEI propaganda. Oh, sorry, policies. As captured by former World of Warcraft team lead Mark Kern, DeWitt posted on X before locking his account down, as they do, privating or hiding, yeah, or straight up deleting in some cases. I've been seeing more and more hateful Gamergate-esque opinions. I want to be clear on where I stand. I won't tolerate any harassment, violence, or threats towards devs, minorities, and women in our industry in any space that I own or have control over. Now, God knows no one was actually threatening anyone, or certainly not violence, harassment. We're simply calling them out on their dirty little practices, or rather pointing out of their unified cancellation of Brutus. Anyway, he continued, I don't care about your opinions and won't go into discussions with you, of course, because they never want to talk, even though they say they do. I'm not interested in explaining to you how little you know of the workings of our industry, and I will report and block your account. He concluded by threatening, and if by chance you happen to be working in the industry and you are voicing said opinions, I'll screenshot you, put you on a person list, and advocate that you will never work at a company I work for or associated with. That's called blacklisting. It's actually what's happening a lot in the WGA and Hollywood in general. And what's actually the modern form of blacklisting is you get put on an email chain. Your name gets emailed out to everyone. And when you go to work, they check that email and they go, nope, sorry. And here we have Mark Kern, or his on Twix, he is Grums. I love it when they reveal that, yes, it's true. We are forcing DEI crap into our games, or else you will never work here again. That is exactly what we are talking about, Richie. Thanks for taking the mask off and confirming everything. And by the way, they've super confirmed all of it by pointing out that the companies, the game studios, are the ones that asked them to be there to bring in the DEI in the first place. So it's like, oh, okay. So you're confirming that all those companies are already corrupted by the time you come in and corrupt them further. Good to know. While DeWitt admitted he will actively engage in this behavior, and by the way, this goes for regular politics too. They don't see these horrible tactics that if anyone else used would be horrible. They see them as good because we're literally Hitler Yahtzees to them. So they see no problem doing the most despicable things to us because they actually have fooled themselves into thinking we're the evil ones. While DeWitt admitted he will actively engage in this behavior, former Bungie lawyer Don McGowan admitted he had been using the tactics within the video game industry for years. He detailed on X, and it never occurs to them that the reason nobody made games for them was because nobody wanted to make those kinds of games. Nobody wants your money because no one wants you in their environment. Take it from someone, most of whose job was figuring out ways to get rid of you. Trust and safety departments exist to get assholes out of the gaming environment, he continued. You end up creating them to get rid of assholes because adult humans don't want to spend their leisure time with assholes. You're a gamer-gator? Fuck off, you goddamn child. Nobody wants your money. Go spend it on anime porn. It's a gross oversimplification and generalization. And also, it's gone on record that they really think they can get rid of their core demographics, which is the majority of us gamers. Nobody wants to. Yeah. Oh, yeah. DeWitt's comments also come in the wake of Sweet Baby Inc. employees Chris Kindred and Maya Kramer attempting to cancel. And this is what started all of Gamergate 2, by the way. This, right? So if you're wondering what started this, as we're now seeing simply a continuation of what happened in 2016, this is it right here. Chris Kindred and Maya Kramer attempting to cancel Brazilian gamer Cabrutus Rambo and his Steam curator list. Cabrutus created a Steam curator list of all games that Sweet Baby Inc. worked on and clearly labels them as do not recommend. And as I always point out, what would be the problem with that? If you think they would be very happy to see that their work is for free being advertised and collected, is look, I sure would be if it was oh look, Badger had a hand in all of this, but I stand by my opinions. They clearly don't. In response to this, both Kindred called for mass reporting of both Kindred and Maya Kramer called for the reporting of the Steam curator and Cabrutus's personal Steam account. They tried to dox him. The Steam curator harassment group Sweet Baby Inc. detected. This is what Kindred wrote originally. The Steam curator harassment group, which it's not, just a curator, Sweet Baby Inc. detected is led by this person. Shows him. Here's them trying to be slick so they don't get reported. Even with the discriminatory language filed off, the group itself still fails the code of conduct. And no, it did not. It's still around. I think we're approaching 300,000 followers at this point. And this was all their cope. And then, oh, okay, right. Kramer was the famous Lego Butts, who also was gaslighting and calling for all manner of horrible things. She had, for example, Steam doesn't have guidelines for creators that would prevent someone from starting a creation group that focuses on Sweet Baby Inc. and warning people not to buy the games they're associated with, which could just list any games at all. Yeah, well, and he's, to his credit, to Cabrutus's credit, he has gone and removed any games that he cannot find direct links to. So go fuck yourself, Lego Butts and all the other ones. Following the cancellation attempt, it was uncovered, of course, that Sweet Baby Inc. CEO Kim Belair, famous, remember these names, Kim Belair advocated for game developers to use fear tactics. And that's, of course, where she says if you're working at a creative AAA, you've done for many years, and they don't see the value in the agenda you're trying to push, then you need to go have a coffee with your marketing team and terrify them, of course, with the possibility of what's going to happen if they don't give you what you want. It was also uncovered that in 2021 interview with Inclusion FX, that Belair admitted that she wanted to take over the video game industry. She said in 2018, one of my best friends and I, we teamed up and we founded a company. The original desire was just to write together. We wanted to write with the two of us and our friend of ours, and we wanted to write games. But we realized that no one gave a shit about our stories. But we realized that as a unit, we realized we were capable of doing for others what had not been done to us, which was to support us, empower us, to lift us up, to value our talent, to help build our skills, and to fool a bunch of people into giving us money, even though we are talentless hacks that can only race, hustle, and grift. I added all that last part, but I think that's pretty much what they got going on. And so today, of course, she goes, what we do is writing, narrative design, story building, story breaking as our first and foremost. And lies, all of that may be true, but is directly related to DEI. How can we get inclusion, representation, all of it in there? Again, when someone said we have a French character, her main thing was like, but can you make him black? Belair then admitted, and basically, I think, to take over in the hopes that some really dope people will be able to lead into a new kind of era for the industry that's kind of been, the same way too long. You mean profitable and enjoyable and making games that people like, so you want to change all that? Well, congratulations, you're trying and failing. Thank you. I'm glad you said all the quiet parts out loud. Belair would deploy her own terrifying tactic and use game journalist Bryant Francis, a game developer, to launch her own cancel campaign against Cabrutus, which has sparked Gamergate 2, and thankfully has backfired horribly and done what as his rant from Starfield should have done almost a year ago when he ranted about the pronouns and all that. All of that was Sweet Baby Inc. influence. We see Suicide Squad was always the loudest, most egregious Sweet Baby Inc. influence, and Spider-Man 2, as we're saying, yeah, she tried, made a good effort, but her leg. That's the biggest part of why it didn't work this time. In conjunction with Twitter being much more fair playing ground, thanks to at least Elon trying to have some fairness there and not skewed in community notes. Games like Kotaku and Game Informer and all these other companies, game sites, they just have little to no credibility anymore. Little to no credibility. And us, on the other hand, the YouTubers, oh, we have quite a bit of credibility these days. Quite a bit, because one thing that is going to be the difference between make and break for anything is authenticity. And we actually believe this shit that we're saying. They, for better or worse, I do not think they do actually. When it comes right down to it, when they're in their rooms or in their showers crying to themselves, they don't actually believe in what they're pushing. It's just the only way they can sleep at night or try to sleep at night. So the only way they can try to get through is to convince themselves, which they try real hard to do, that we're the monsters and they're on the right side of history. But you're not. Let me know what you think of this. Make sure to like, share, sub. If you've done that, thank you. If you're going to do that, thank you. Well,
bye.